Yes, back for the Crystal Palace game, an evening game on the Saturday night, no early morning kickoffs. Even on a Saturday, I think that's a decent time for us. Definitely avoid that early kickoff at all costs. But yeah, Crystal Palace versus Man City preview, let's get into it. So from the Newcastle game, there were some good bits, there were some bad bits that you may have seen in my preview. One problem, not creating much, especially for Haaland. He may have got one header, but that was about it. Usually we create loads. That's maybe a problem with Kevin De Bruyne as well. Not creating much, still kind of in poor form. Although we Phil Foden now, who's in great form. He's on fire. The same with Nathan Ake, same with Ruben Diaz. Those three are standout players at the moment. So yeah, hopefully they continue their fine form. We'll see if they get in the team later on. Will Mahrez come back in. Phil Foden and Grealish have been excelling on those wings so far. Does Julian Alvarez get in? He's worthy of a starting place for some minutes at least anytime soon. Does Haaland keep his place even though he's not scoring? He assisted up the last weekend though, but yeah, let's see. Will the Walker incident have an impact on whether he plays? And will we keep up this unbeaten run? We're unbeaten in 7 now. We've only one loss in 11. We're on a 3-match winning streak, so maybe we can improve that to 4. Another problem we had in the last game is we tried to find Haaland way too much in the first 20 minutes or so, and even Foden came out and said it afterwards that we were just trying too hard to counter-attack or whatnot. Foden came out afterwards and said the same thing, that they were trying too hard to counter-attack our long balls and that they control it more in the second half. So yeah, I got some analysis to me, but yeah, we go straight into Man City's results now, see how we're doing. I said we're unbeaten in 7 now, 3 wins in a row, 1 loss in 11. Yeah, let's see how they are. So as we see here, we've got City, Newcastle 2-0 just last weekend. Decent win, good win against Bristol, good win against Bournemouth. Drew with Leipzig. That's okay in the grand scheme of things if we go through, but it was a boring game. Nottingham Forest 1-1 as well. Then these 3-1 wins, as we know. Then back to this loss, but 5th of February, that's a whole month ago now. 3 wins in a row. We're in good form. These are the 3 wins we should be looking at. Good form, although that was fairly recent as well. But we can put that right midweek next week. But yeah, 2-0, 3-0, 4-1. These are decent wins, decent performances as well. Newcastle one obviously wasn't as good as these two because it was a step up in opposition. Remember how I said see how we performed against better opposition? Obviously not as great because it's the hard opposition, but I was expecting, since KDB had a good game here, would he step up? He was the one I was looking for, but he just couldn't. Like, does he get in the team this time round? But Palace, we're on to Palace. Yeah, it just screams a draw for some reason. I don't know why. We go on to them now. Let's just see where they are in the table first, and let's see where we are. Still, well, we all know where we are. We're still 2 points. Wait, 2 points? No, we are 5 points. No more game in hand. That's key now. Whatever points Arsenal drop or we drop, there's no chance of making it up with a game in hand or whatnot. We're all level on games now. 26 all. 20 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. 18, 4 and 4. Still the highest scores. Same goals amount scored. So we got that better goal difference if it comes down to it. But yeah, we just one more game to get that Tottenham loss out of the way. And hopefully it's 5 wins and a draw, which is City form. That's City's standard form, that. 5 wins and a draw and 6. Yeah, that's decent. But where are Crystal Palace? Usually they're around mid-table. Yeah, bang on. 12, mid-table. That's as mid-table as you can get, really. Jeez! Their form is awful. Winless in their last 6. Draw, loss. Like I said, that's why it screams a draw. They just seem to draw with everyone. But they're on 27 points. You know what? They're 5 points above the drop zone. Like, I think Aston Villa are pretty much clear, but everyone from here down the way, they could really get drawn into a relegation scrap, although these have a game in hand on these don't though. So Wolves could drop further down if any of these get a win. Well, if any of these two get a win, sorry. If them two get wins, Wolves drop down as well. Jeez, it's tight at the bottom, I tell you that. Bournemouth, Southampton, Everton. But yeah, we're looking at Palace here. Only 6 wins, 9 draws, 10 losses. I told you, they seem to draw a lot of games. Screams a draw. 21 scored, 32. Winless in their last 6 at least. We win quite a few at the moment. So let's see what their actual results, who they were against, like, because it could depend on who they were playing like. Aston Villa won the loss. That was an Anderson on goal at the weekend, wasn't it? Yeah. 0-0 against Liverpool, that's a decent result, but it's still winless. Brentford 1-1. Brentford are decent at the moment. They're like one of the top dogs out of the 9 to 6 sort of pack. They beat Fulham at the weekend, that's why I say that. Because I would have said Fulham. Let's just see who is there, because I want to kind of see. Fulham are still the head of that pack. Newcastle, I knew would get drawn into that. Liverpool, I knew would rise up as well, and I predict them to get top 4. I predicted them weeks ago. I predicted before they'd won these 4, they'd lost like 2, and they were like winless in a couple. I predicted them to get top 4 then. I don't know if it's on one of these videos or what, but I predicted them to get top 4, and they're looking like it. That's quite annoying. So Arsenal, City, United, Liverpool, that's my top 4, but hopefully it's City above Arsenal. Yeah, so Newcastle drawn into this lot. I'm expecting Chelsea to rise up maybe a few places, but they won't get. They should get Europe anyway. They should get the Europa League. Brentford, jeez, Brentford and Brighton have lots of games in hand, especially on Fulham. So Fulham are kind of in 9th realistically, and Brighton are in 6th, Brentford 8th. That's just like if they're going the way they're going. Like they've 3 games in hand on them. They just need to get 1 point and they're above them, like. So that they'll easily get that. Brentford 2 games in hand, same thing. They only need 1 point. They have no defeats in the last 6 either. I don't know why I'm going on about these. It doesn't matter. This is Palace. What about Palace? But yeah, just getting the idea of why Palace losing to Brentford ain't that big of a deal. Or they drew with them, even better. Crystal Palace against Brighton, another one of those teams in around that area that are above them anyway. That's a decent draw, but that was at home. This is away, a bit different. Last against United, we remember that. Draw against Newcastle, these are still not winning any games. Draw against United, remember that game. Elise's free kick in the dying minutes or so. That was a good day. Loss against Chelsea. Chelsea are in bad form as well. That's not the best. FA Cup. Lost to Southampton as well. Lost to Tottenham. Jeez, do they win any games? 2-0 win against Bournemouth. Bottom of the table Bournemouth. I think they're bottom of the table. They beat bottom of the table Bournemouth. Congratulations. So they have, that's 31st of December. They haven't won a game this year. Oh, that just screams it now, doesn't it? Screams Palace at home against Man City. This is the time where they win their first game of the year, of the whole year. Every competition as well. Haven't won one. They lost 3-0 to Palace. Drew with them in a friendly. Lost to, this is before the World Cup. Lost against Nottingham. Drew against, that was Carabao Cup. Alright, so this was before the World Cup. Jeez, 2-1 against West Ham. They have 1 win since the World Cup and not a single win this year. We have to be destroying these. Holland got a hat-trick against them earlier on in the season as well, so I'm playing Holland again and he has to be racking up goals this game. We have to be creating chances this game. Do they lose that many games? It's just loss, draw, loss, draw, loss. Yeah, a good couple of losses in January, but they draw a lot of games. As we said, 9 draws, 10 losses in the Prem. Only 6-1. They've only won 6 games. How is Patrick Vieira not under pressure to get the sack? I mean, like, I think he did okay last year, but 1 win since the World Cup, that's not good. You have to be changing something with the team. Actually, I've looked at who's been playing in these teams, and Wilfried Zaha has been out for quite a long time. Anderson, I think, was out for a little bit. So we'll actually just go on to their squad now that I think they'll play with. This is what I think they'll go with. The back 6 absolutely picks themselves. They've played with this back 6 for time now. I think Anderson was out for a little bit with an injury, but he's coming back in straight away. Own goal at the weekend though, not great. Gaeta starts. Mitchell, we've been linked with him a couple of times. Guehi, revelation I think since he came in last year. I think he was at Chelsea. Another Chelsea loan prospect, but he's at Palace now, permanent, I think. Anderson, yeah. Klein, he should be well old now, but yeah. Lakonga, I think, is a January signing. I've only just started seeing him since January. Decore, I think he's came in this season or last season. He's been quite good for them. But then this is where the picking gets tricky. Wilfried Zaha was his first start last weekend in a long time. I don't know where he started, if it was up front or not, because the way the Sky Sports lay it out, it's a bit weird. So Jordan Ayew is like a striker, but he's ranked like 4th last with Zaha up top. So I don't know if Zaha's playing up top or Jordan Ayew is playing as the 10. But this is the kind of front 4 I'd like to see. Like if I was a Palace fan, I'd like to see this front 4. Olise, Zaha, Eze behind Jordan Ayew. Or it could be Mateta as well, this guy. It could be this Mateta guy who plays up front. Or it could be Edouard who plays up front, the former Celtic lad. But I'm going with Jordan Ayew because he seems to just play nowadays. He's played the last couple of games. He's been playing for a while. I've noticed him in the team sheets when I was looking at them. Olise, he seems to start. Eze doesn't though. Eze doesn't seem to start a lot of games. I see him coming off the bench quite a bit. But I don't know, will he play? Won't he play? He played last game anyway. He started last game. The games before that he came off the bench quite a bit. Olise seems to start a lot, but he comes off quite a bit as well. But if I was a Palace fan, this is the team I'd like to see. Will Zaha play up front, Eze play off the wing, and maybe Jordan Ayew as a 10 or off the right with Olise as 10. I like Olise, I like it. I like all these 3. They're kind of just ballers really. The type of guys on FIFA you buy like when you're starting off, especially Olise and Eze. They're just them flair type of players that you get on the cheap or whatnot. But yeah, decent team, this decent team. I don't know how they're doing so bad, to be honest, because look at that team. That's well, considering we want him, and we were linked with him before as well. He's been supposedly good since he came in, as well as this guy. Danny Klein, don't know how he plays. Decore is supposed to be good as well. Like, what's gone wrong with this Crystal Palace team? I don't know. I hope it continues to go wrong on the weekend, but after that, I hope they do well. I hope Patrick Vieira does well. I like him, former Man City legend. Nah, yeah, he played for City, so I like him. A bit like Arteta. who manage us. But let's go into the City team, who should be beating this Palace side, might I add. Edison, yeah, standard Edison. Nathan Ake, or more importantly, a back four. Back four, play with it last weekend, and what do you know? We got a clean sheet. Keep running with it. It's either one of Aymeric Laporte or John Stones has to really play it now that they're fully back in training. They're fully fit now. I'm going to go with Laporte on this one just because I think John Stones will be saved maybe for the Leipzig game in midweek, the knockout game in midweek. My only reasoning really, that's but I'm expecting one of them, at least one of them to come back in for this game. I'm going to Kanji dropping out. He's just the man who drops out really. Great since he came in, but he's the guy that drops out. Ruben Diaz has to play, although he could be rested as well if he's prioritising the Champions League, but you got to prioritise the Prem at the same time. We've got enough centre backs to rotate now. Nathan Ake left back, he's just going to have to be kept running there, although he could be saved for Leipzig as well, and Laporte play at left back, so who knows? Will Bernardo Silva play at left back? I hope not. I'm going with what I think Pep will go with, slash a back four. My back four, yeah. Kyle Walker, he might be dropped, you know. The whole cheating thing, that's nothing to do with the club, but getting it out in public, that's a different story. So if he gets dropped at the weekend, yeah, it's the club may say they're nothing to do with it, but if he gets dropped at the weekend, yeah, no. But does he get saved for Leipzig? Who knows? Rodri standard. KDB, I would have said he'd be dropped, but Pep said in his press conference he'll have a chance at the weekend to prove himself, so he's obviously starting. So Bernardo Silva, he didn't start last game, I don't think. I think it was Gundo. Yeah, he came on and controlled the game. So I'm expecting him to start actually, to bring that more control. Gundo drop out, he'll come back in for Leipzig, I'd say. Phil Foden, you gotta keep running him. You gotta keep him running. He's in great form at the moment, just keep him playing. Riyad Mahrez probably has to come back in because he was dropped last weekend. Probably has to come back in. But then Julian Alvarez, where does he come in? Because Haaland, you just gotta keep playing him, I feel. You just can't drop him, really. He's just our main guy up front, even though he's not scored much. Scored 1 in 7 now. He got an assist at the weekend though, but yeah. Alvarez could come in for, I would have predicted he would have come in for KDB, but Pep said KDB will get another shot the weekend, so gotta play him. Will he come in for Foden? Don't know. Foden might get a rest though because of his ankle thing, but he was back in training today, which is Wednesday. He was back in training, yeah, so I'm guessing he'd just be kept running, but Grealish rested, not more so dropped, just rotated. He'd come back in for Leipzig, I reckon. Although I wouldn't mind seeing him, but yeah, that's the City side to play this Crystal Palace side, and the form they're in, 1 win since the World Cup, no wins this year. We have to be beating them. We have to be beating them, really. My prediction for this game, we're away, so it's a little bit different. I'm going to go 2-0 again. If it was at home, I'd go 3-0, but I'm going to go 2-0 to City. I got my prediction right last weekend with Foden scoring and us scoring 2, but I predicted 2-1 with Haaland scoring as well. But Phil Foden, will he score again? I'm going to go Phil Foden and KDB to score. Yes, KDB to have maybe a stinker again, but score the winner or the second goal. And if we score 3, Haaland will be my third choice. But yeah, that is my prediction. Let me know yours in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall see you for, I guess I'll see you for the review afterwards. Yeah, see you next time. Peace.